Hello YouTube. I want to take just a little bit of time tonight to talk about my top 5 budget knives. So when I talk about budget knives, I'm thinking about knives that run anywhere from say $45 up to $90. So a budget knife we'll say collectively is under $100. We've talked kind of about my ADC needs. They're pretty light duty, light in nature. I carry knives every day. I use them to cut everyday objects, whether that be boxes, whether that be string, whether that be just light cutting. That's what we do with our knives. I'm not a heavy user, so none of these are reviews. These are simply my subjective opinions. I take that again. It's my subjective opinions. I think what some of y'all see is there are a few surprises. At least I was surprised when I was going through my budget knives. This is the Orion Solaris. It's an honorable mention. It's not going to make our top 5. It's an older knife. Fantastic knife. I love this knife. I cannot wait for the new Scorpio to come out. Orion Solaris Blade Banter. So anyway, top 5 knives in no particular order. Again, some of these might be surprises. I think y'all have familiarity with all of them. But the first one, again, is going to be the CJRB Morelia. Not the small Morelia, but the Morelia. This knife, it was great in its original iteration as the Morelia. It was a smaller knife, but the way that the ergos and the handle with the choil were set up, it made for a perfect small knife. When they re-released this as the Morelia, it's more of a medium-sized knife, I'd say. It fits my hand perfectly. The choil is fantastic. It's got action that's just to die for. Multiple deployment methods, front flip, thumb studs. You can reverse flick it as I fail it. But again, the Morelia, great knife, budget knife. I think I paid right around $65 for this as a prototype. So that's the Morelia. Moving on from that, kind of a surprise knife, the Cubist PE variant. Thinking, oh wow, it's got tie scales. That can't be under a $100 knife. Well, interesting story. The Cubist comes in right around $65, and great value. Came in with Jade micarta scales, and then you get a discount if you use certain codes. When the scales came out, the titanium scales, I want to say they were right around 35 bucks. So if you look at this knife in its current iteration with the scales, full tie, it's probably going to run you a little bit more than 100 bucks. But if I wasn't lazy, I could have put the Jade scales back on it. The action's just as good. The cutting's just as good. Action's just as good. Everything about the knife is just as good. Again, Jason Lundquist Designs, the Cubist variant PE is, we'll call it number 4, even though these are no particular order. Number 3, we couldn't do a budget knife review without talking about our friends Asher Knives. I want to say that Asher Knives, with the exception of the new Holy Spiro, when after you've used Kevin's Lefty 10 code, I think it came out to be $105, which to me is $100 dead. But to make it easy, I figured I'd pick out a little bit older Asher, and this one cost me $85. This is the titanium Framelock Spiro. Again, it's about the same size as a bug out, S35VN steel, fantastic action, fantastic feel in the hand, fantastic clip, very easy to carry, very easy to sharpen, and a very handy EDC knife. So coming in at number 3, we'll call that the Asher Framelock. And then as we move on, for right around 75 to 80 bucks, you've got the Kaiser Sheepdog. Not the Sheepdog Mini, which I also have, the Kaiser Sheepdog. This is a great knife. It's also the flipperless version. I love it. I love the way that it feels in my hand. I love the fact that the blade stock is very, very thin. However, I can still chop with it. I love the fact that it's very fidgety, that it's got the deployment hole is the only way to open it. It keeps the blade path clear for not only sharpening but for cutting. Just a great knife. So at number 2, we're going to give that to what we'll call collectively right now is a $79 Kaiser Sheepdog in the flipperless configuration with micarta. Number one, we will have to go with the Kuby Ku322. The Kuby Ku322 is a fantastic budget knife. It comes in under $50, guys. This thing has a tall, flat grind blade. It is very, very slicey. Has a deployment hole. Has a flipper. People says it looks like a much more expensive knife. I don't really see that. A little bit in the blade design, but not in the handle. But I can tell you this, for the money, this is just an absolutely fantastic knife. The Kuby Ku322 is a winner. So we go back through, we look at what Javon thinks are his top 5, and again, that is the part of this that is important. His top 5 current budget knives. And we are looking at them right here with our honorable mention, which was our Orion Solaris, which really is, guys, as good as any of these knives. It's a fantastic knife, fantastic design, but it's a couple of years old. So want to leave you guys with looking out for the person to your left, looking out for the person to your right. Take care of one another, agree to disagree, have those debates, but don't let it divulge yourself into butt hurt. Don't get angry at each other. We're all going to have different opinions, and that's good. But we've also got to come together. Come together as a people, come together as a community, and come together in the spirit of sharp and pointy things. Peace out. Love all you guys. Bye.